Hello and welcome to another episode of Cooking with Cleavage. Today we're going to make, it's from Pillsbury recipe book, and it's cream cheese sugar cookies. So we have to make some of it now, and then make it now, and then we have to put it in the fridge for 2 hours. So I'm just going to do that part now. Okay, so we have in here 1 cup of softened butter, that's 2 sticks. Just so you know, because you do have to leave it out. When a recipe calls for softened butter, it doesn't mean melted. Like you can't, oh, I forgot to soften it. Let me just put it in a microwave. It'll make it recipe totally different. So this is softened butter, and it calls for a third of it. What was it? A third of an ounce. This, because this, 3 ounces. It's 3 ounces of cream cheese. So this is 3 ounces of softened cream cheese. That's going in there. Put that on a spatula. And then a half of a teaspoon of salt. Remember, I've told y'all before, when you make something sweet and you add a little pinch of salt or a little bit of salt, it brings the sweetness out. A half of a teaspoon of almond extract. And then a half of a teaspoon of vanilla extract. This is all flavor, so it doesn't matter if you go over a little bit, like I always say. And then 1 egg yolk. I separated the yolk from the whites, so that's 1 egg yolk. And a cup of sugar. You put it all in here. And what I'm going to do is put this in here. I have these little mixers. The little mixer. It says to beat it. It says to beat it until it's crispy and light. Just get all that in there. Smells really good. You can smell that vanilla and the almond in there, and the sugar. Trying to get every little bit in there. And we're gonna add the flour slowly. But we just have to mix it in with the flour. So I'm not gonna put it too high. And we just add it little by little. It's 2 cups of flour. Okay, so I'm going to take these out. Ooh! Like some more batter fluid. Okay, I'll put that in there, and I'm gonna put all this down together. See how it's kind of sticky together? Well, if you tried to mess with that now without putting it in the fridge, it would be just too sticky. So let's keep it all together. Okay, so all you want to do is you want to just wrap it with plastic wrap. That's what I'm going to do right now. Make sure it's tight. It's supposed to be a clinging seal. It's like, not when it's metal, lady. Not when it's metal, lady. Okay. I'm going to have to do one on the other side, too. As you see, it's not... The bowl's too big. It does say to use a large bowl, though. Because when you're dealing with flour like that, you don't want to use a small bowl because the flour will go everywhere. Okay. And I'm just going to put this in... I'm actually going to put it in the fridge for a couple of hours or overnight or whatever. Okay. So recently I was at the store and I saw this. It's Crown Royal chocolate. So we decided to try it. Jay likes it a lot. So I'm going to try it with coffee and try a Crown Royal chocolate coffee, iced coffee. So you just use 1.5 ounces of Crown Royal. I like to use the small side because then if I use the big side and the small side, then you got liquor on both sides. And I don't have, this isn't a wet bar. This is my island in my kitchen. If I were at a bar, sure, I would do that because that's why they have the mats, the bar mats, to catch all that extra stuff. I don't have that now. So I'm going to taste it after I add the coffee. Add some coffee. And... a little bit of cream. Ooh. And then I'll taste it and see if I need any like sugar. Cheers. That's perfect. I don't think I need any sugar. Now, some of y'all really might like some sugar because you might like your coffee really sweet. But I am fine like this. And if you do, use simple syrup because then, you don't have to worry about the cold trying to dissolve the sugar in there. So that's a good reason to have simple syrup. Just kind of when I make simple syrup, I just make extra and I have it in a jar as long as you use it within a certain amount of time and it stays good. That's delicious. Yum. I feel like I'm drinking a milkshake. All right, well, I'll be back after that dough is ready, okay? Okay, so I just took this out of the fridge. So, like I said, keeping it in here makes it easier to work with. But I'm going to set my oven to 375. So we bake on 375 and we start, okay? And then you take ooh, it's really cold. Ugh. You take the dough and you divide it in 3. So I think that looks like third, right? Okay. And then you're supposed to put this back in the fridge. Okay, now I have flour down on here. It's kind of a little cold. So you want to push it down in the flour and get the flour in it. It's really crumbly. Okay, I'm going to try to roll it with the pin. You want to get the pin, flour on the pin. Because then otherwise it sticks to the pin. That's the whole point of doing the flour like this. is that it's really sticky. Let's see if this will work better. Okay, it says in the recipe to roll it out to 1/8 of an inch in thickness. Now, y'all, I had to. Then it says to take these. Now, y'all, I had to go out and buy these because I didn't have cookie cutters. I don't remember the last time I made cookies. Okay. And you put it in. Is that 1/8 of an inch, you think? You put it in the pan 1 inch apart from each other. I'm going to use the heart one. There's a little heart one, y'all. I feel like this is making cookies with geometry shapes. Does that look about right? They should probably be like that. Ooh. It's fun with geometry, y'all. You think that looks too thick? Mm-mm. Well, I'm going to do a star. And whatever this one is. That looks funny. That one looks really funny. Oh, a little oval. If I can get one right here. Perfect. And then what you do is you take it all together. Now, y'all, you really, like they say, you need to put it in the fridge for 2 hours or overnight to make it easier to work with. But you also have to let it sit out a little bit, apparently, because I was hard to work with until it set out a little bit. Now it looks like it's getting flaky again. But it did sit in that refrigerator long enough for the flavors to penetrate the dough. And I don't know. The cookies might not be moist. We'll see. Okay. This is probably why I never do this, but I do it for y'all. I'm doing it for y'all. I never had kids, y'all, so I'm not always making cookies. When I was a kid, my mom was good at that. See, now it's all separating. Okay. We'll do a little rectangle. A little square. A circle. A smaller one of these. And for now, we're gonna, did I do a triangle yet? No. Yeah. So for now, we're just gonna do into how long to cook it for. It's to bake for 7 to 10 minutes. So I'm gonna put the timer on 7 and check it, because it says till 7 to 10 or until golden brown. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, we cooked them for about 9 minutes, maybe a little bit more than 9. And that looks like they're lightly golden brown. Some of them are a little bit more brown than others on the edges, huh? Okay. And then it says to immediately take off the cookie sheet. So I have a plate here that I'm going to put it on. Parchment paper. Take some of the heat away. I think I can smell that cream cheese. They feel moist. Whoa. It turned over. Oh yeah, they feel real moist. But you never know, because when they cool off, they might get a little crispier. Okay, and then we'll do another batch in a second. Okay, before I do the next batch, I think the incentive for continuing is to try one. I was wondering if they weren't going to be that sweet. They're perfectly sweet. There you go, I'm sharing. All right, so we'll continue. And I'm gonna put my timer on 9 minutes. Because that's what I cooked it on last time. Okay, so the point is just to get them cool. Give them a place to cool. Some people have cooling racks. I think they do that. They take them off and they put it on another rack to let them cool. I'm gonna have this crunchy one right here. It might not be as moist, but it's crunchy. Tastes kind of like a shortbread. Well, y'all, I guess I would go through all this trouble again just to have these cookies again. And I hope y'all feel the same way. I think the flavors are perfect. And you can make them any time of the year. You can put sprinkles on top. You can put icing on top. Whatever you want to do. You can make these a little bit more elaborate than I made them. I'm a simple person. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode of Cooking with Cleavage. And I'll see you next time. Okay, so Dark Horse. I couldn't find the blue salmon dress. I don't know where the hell it is. And I am more upset about it than you are, but I hope this dress was okay. Also, I did buy some new dresses that you might like that'll show off my cleavage, so you wouldn't mind me trying those instead of the ones you picked out. I'll try one, and if you don't like it, I'll do one of the ones that you want. And hopefully I'll find that blue dress because, trust me, I don't want to lose it. All right, I'll see you later.